Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy says that panicked statements about an imminent war with Russia is causing economic harm to his country. Zelenskyy made the comments as he spoke with reporters in Kiev following a call with US President Joe Biden on Thursday. He welcomed US and NATO help, but played down reports that Moscow is poised to invade. Zelenskyy says although Ukraine is not a NATO member, it still needs more security guarantees in order to deter a conflict.
I know that some members of NATO don't like us going into this detail, but we want to have something specific. We need to have something that we can count on. First of all, security guarantees, if we were talking about NATO, and the second is the level of our army. No matter when we get into NATO or whether we will be there at all, nothing in this case depends on us. Not everything depends on us. We have to develop our own army. We have to protect ourselves. But we understand right now perfectly well that if we are not part of NATO, then we are on our own in terms of protecting ourselves.
Well, attending that press conference is our international correspondent, Annalise Borges. She joins us from Kiev. Good to see you tonight, Annalise. To begin with, we know that President Zelenskyy must have a difficult balancing act. On one hand, he has to reassure his population and the economy, and then on the other hand, he has to make that case for support from the West. A difficult diplomatic tightrope, isn't it?
Absolutely, Helena. A very delicate position to be at. But if there's one message that we can take out of this presser here in Kyiv tonight, is that Ukraine does believe Russia poses a threat, not only to this nation, but to the entire European continent. And Ukraine believes that what is at stake right now is not only the stability of this country, but the stability of Europe. When I asked Volodymyr Zelenskyy about some of his previous statements, the Ukrainian president has been perceived as projecting calm, saying that everything was under control, that there was no reason for panic. This is what the Ukrainian leader had to say.
And I mentioned this to President Biden. I think the U.S. supports that. I said that I started talking to the leaders of the countries and to explain to them that we need to stabilize the economy of our country because of those signals which say that tomorrow there will be war, because these signals were sent by even respected leaders of the respected countries. Sometimes they are not even using diplomatic language. They're saying tomorrow is the war. This means panic on the market, panic in the financial sector. So how much does it cost to our country? The people should trust their government and their special services. We are grateful for any support, but this varied information from varied sources cannot mislead our country, because this raises economic panic.
Volodymyr Zelenskyy, they're also detailing a phone conversation he had with the US President Joe Biden, a phone call that reportedly went badly, according to Ukrainian officials. The call didn't go as planned. Apparently, the two leaders clashed, and information that has been dismissed by the White House. Here in the Ukrainian capital today, the Ukrainian president insisted that he was not here to criticize Joe Biden, that the U.S. doesn't owe Ukraine anything, but that he was in a better position to detail what was really happening in his country. He said that Joe Biden is not a Ukrainian president or a Ukrainian father, a Ukrainian brother, a Ukrainian husband that may worry about his family members in this moment of utmost tension.
Yeah, as you point out there, Annalise, I mean, it seems that there are contradictory messages about an invasion, about how likely it is, how imminent it is. But, you know, nevertheless, it seems to be that the message from President Zelenskyy is, why wait to act? Why wait to help us?
The question really seems to be one of trust. And what Volodymyr Zelenskyy insisted today is that as a Ukrainian national, he has known Russia for far too long to be able to trust what Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, has been saying lately. He asked a series of rhetorical questions during the presser. He said, if Russia has no intention to invade Ukraine, why so many troops? Why amassing 100,000 soldiers by the border? Why so many military drills if the Russian military is already so well equipped and trained? So once again, Zelensky insisting that the time is serious, that what is at stake here is the stability and the integrity of his country, and insisting that it's time for other countries to act. He did mention, as you said before, NATO and the importance for NATO to get involved and to show whether or not Ukraine has a part in NATO. He insisted that NATO is about much more than only war. He said that it was about preventing aggression, but also safeguarding peace.